Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully changed our password as a bit-trip password, right? So here I have done this work in our controller. Into this controller area, I have simply added this functionality. So right now, if you want to do that work in our model, you can also do this work. Then that will be one of the clean code. Okay, how can do that work in this video? I will show you that things with a live example. Then we will need our middleware. Okay, when you working into this model, we need that middleware. If you go to that Mongoose, in my Mongoose documentation guide, and from here, if you go to that middleware, they have the different type of middleware as a validate middleware, save middleware. So validate middleware is used for if you want to add some of the validation when this data will be inserted, then you can actually add these things with this validate middleware. And also there is another one as a save middleware. Save middleware means when you insert any data into the database. So after that, if you want to add some of the actions, then you can actually do that work with using that save validation. I will show you that things with the live example, then that will be more clear to you. Like before, what exactly I have done. If you go to our user and into this user, you can see there is a save. That means when any data is stored in our database, before this I have changed that password field all the data to the bit-trip password, right? Before the save, we have done this job. So now I want to change it. So if you want to change it in our model, okay, into this model area, I want to add this condition. If you go to that our user model and do this user model here, and here you can see I have already created one of the user schema, right? Now, with this, I want to add some of the actions like here after this, okay. After this, I want to put on the semicolon, and now that is our schema. That is user schema, and after that user schema, I want to use that as a pre I am actually using because of all I want to do. First of all, I want to change it, right? Before I have already done it. Right now I don't need this. I better I close it. Okay, I close it, and then there is user out. Also, you don't need this. That is a user. Okay. So before, you can see before the save, I have actually changed that password field. Right, friends? So now I want to do here, if you want to make it before the save, then you have to use that as a pre. Or rather than if you want to make it as a after that save, then you have to use that as a post. Okay, so you can actually use both of this in here. So right now I want to change that our hash password before the save. For the reasons I make it as a pre. Okay. And then I want to call our save middleware in here. There is a save, and after that that will be one of the asynchronous function. I want to use that as asynchronous, and here I will use that this. Okay, so when you use that as a this, then we have to add that as a pure function. Here you don't need to add that array functions. That will be one of the pure clean functions. I use that as a function. So that is our asynchronous function, and into this asynchronous function, before I have already discussed about that things with you, we have to release this one, right? We have to release this one. That means we have to release this middleware. So for the reasons here, I pass that as a next. Okay, so here I simply pass that next, and right now if you want to check it, okay, if you want to check it that is appropriately working or not, if you want to check it, then better with the console log. Okay, with this console log, I want to check it. There is a console log. Now when everything will be done, then that will be display some of the messages just before saving. This type of the message, then that will be display. Okay, and also make that sure you have to release it, right? You have to release that next. I simply added that next function in here. Then this middleware will be released for our next procedure. So now if you want to check it, click as a save all. Okay, click as a save all, and now I want to go to our project, and to the project that is for the new user, right? So now I want to create on the new user as a John1, and also I make it as a John 2, and then John 2. Okay, and then I put that age as the same and password as a something like that. So this type of the password. Now to create on the new user, now click as a send. Now you can see it's now successfully inserted, and also our password is now become changed. But I actually want to actually display our what exactly that's doing. You can say before that saving, now it's actually display our this is that is just before saving. That means this functionality actually executed, right? So now I want to execute it. That means this password. Okay, here this functionality I want to now add that things in here. So right now we don't need this. That means everything is working perfectly, right? Before this save, this just before saving is executed. So now here I want to change our field name, that is a password field name. I want to make it as a Bittrip password. So if you want to make it as a Bittrip, also we need to add that our Bittrip required. I copy it, and now in our user model, into this user model, first time I want to add it. Okay, that is a Bittrip. I simply added this module, which is totally fine. And now here I want to take that out this. So better I take that this in one of the variable, so that will be on the constant variable, and I just name it as a user. User will be our this. So I simply added that this functionality in here, and then I want to with this user I want to access that our password field, because our field name as a password, right? So this password will be await. So with this await, because there is an asynchronous function, await, and then Bittrip, that will be the Bittrip, and Bittrip the hash password, right? So hash password will be which one? Hash password will be our user, and then password. So that is a user password, and also I want to create that hash as a 8. Okay, so now I make it as a 8. Great. The same things that I have done in here. So there is the same things. Now I have done it from to the model. So right now we don't need this. That means I have already added that things in our model. Right now we don't need this line. So now it's become clean, and now I simply remove it. Okay, I simply remove it, click as a save all. So now that should be executed. Our database is now connected. Now let's check this out. Everything is working perfectly or not. And now if you go to our Postman, and into this Postman, now I want to add new one as a John 3 and make it as a John 3, and that is our password. I make like this type of the password. Okay, now let's check this out, and also make it as a 50. That is always a 50. And now if you click as a send, yes, you can see everything is great. Our new user is successfully added. If you also go check that in our database, and there is a user, before that was a 4, now that should be add the 2. Now click as a refresh. Yes, you can see now that is 6. And if you go, there is a John 3. Before I have inserted as a John 2, and there is a John 3. And you can see our password is now become changed. Now that is on the hash password. Okay, friend. I hope it's very much clear to you. So right now you can actually do that work from to the model. If you want to make it from to the controller, I share both of this with you. Which things you will like, you can actually add that things in here. In our next video, I want to discuss about that update functionality. Okay, into this update, if you go to that controller here, for the create, our password will be as a hash password, but when that will be the update, there is a user update. Here also we have to update. That means we have to make our password field as a hash password. So how can do that work? In our next video, I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.